A340 external visit. This visit corresponds to a detailed presentation visit focusing on all elements of the various aircraft zones. This is primarily a visual check to ensure that the overall condition of the aircraft, the visible components and equipment are safe. During the inspection, check for proper position of the control surfaces, damage to the structure, fluid leakage and closure of the access panels and doors. In cold weather conditions, check for ice or frost accumulation. As brake wear has to be checked during the inspection, set the parking brake before leaving the cockpit. The visit starts at the left forward fuselage. Check that the overpressure relief valve is properly closed. Verify that the captain angle of attack probe is not damaged. Let's now move on to the nose section of the aircraft. Check that the captain and standby pitot probes are clean. Verify the condition of the captain and first officer TAT probes. Make sure that the avionics access compartment is closed. Inspect the radome for cracks, deformation or lightning strike, and also check that the latches are engaged. Check that the first officer pitot probe is clean. Make sure that the green oxygen discharge indicator is in place. In case of overpressure in the oxygen system, the disc would be missing. Now, inspect the nose landing gear and doors. Check the condition of taxi, takeoff, and turn-off lights for damage and cleanliness. Make sure that the nose wheel chocks are in place. Look at the wheels and tires for wear, cuts, and cracks. Observe the landing gear structure and make sure that the shock absorber is inflated. A chrome part has to be visible. Check for good condition of hydraulic lines and electrical wires. Check the wheel well for leaks and make sure that the ground safety pin is removed. Looking at the steering box, make sure that the parking brake light is on and that the steering pin is removed. If ground electrical power is needed, verify that the security strap is hooked to prevent the plug from falling. Moving now to the right-hand forward fuselage. Inspect the first officer and standby angle of attack probes for damage. Check that the cargo loading control door is closed. Also make sure that the cargo door hydraulic selector access is closed. The cargo door latching handle must be locked. the locking flapper closed and the red locking indicators flush for proper closure of the cargo door. While moving along the aircraft, inspect the lower center fuselage. Check that the standby, captain, and first officer static ports are clean. Still following the fuselage, verify the condition of the drain mast and the various antennas. Below the fuselage, make sure that the avionics ventilation outlet is open. Check for good condition of the wing and engine scan lights. Make also sure that the air conditioning compartment ventilation NACA inlet is clear. Looking now at the center wing section. Check the beacon light for condition. Verify that the right-hand pack ram air inlet and outlet are clear. Make sure that the right main and center landing gear door handle accesses are closed. Verify that the center tank fuel magnetic indicator is flush with the fuselage. Check that the yellow hydraulic servicing panel is closed. Observe that the center tank water drain valve access is closed and that no leaks are visible. Now, take a look at the right-hand leading edge in the area of slat 1. On the wing lower surface, check that the fuel magnetic indicators are flush with the fuselage, and check for leaks from the fuel water drain valves. Moving on to the wing leading edge, check the landing light for condition and damage, and observe slat 1 condition and position. Reaching engine 3 on the left side, verify that the engine oil access door is closed. On the pylon, check that the fire extinguisher bottle access is closed. Check that the reverse blocker doors are closed and latched. Under the engine, check the drain mast for condition and that there are no leaks. Moving to the front of the engine, check the inlet nose cowl and fan blade condition and the temperature sensor. On the right side of engine 3, check that the anti-ice outlet is clear. Verify that the ECU cooling NACA inlet is clear and check the phone jack for condition. Check that the reverse blocker doors and the pressure relief and start valve access are closed. At the rear of the engine, verify that the exhaust is clear. On the pylon, check that the fire extinguisher bottle access is closed and make sure that the pylon ventilation inlet is clear. Finally, take a look at the pylon drain for leaks. Whilst moving along the wing between engines 3 and 4, verify that the fuel magnetic indicators are flush with the wing and that there is no leak from the outer tank fuel water drain valve. At flap track fairing number 4, check that the rat door is closed. On the wing leading edge, verify that the refuel coupling panel is closed and check the slats for condition. When reaching engine 4, the inspection is performed in exactly the same way as for engine 3. From engine 4 to wingtip, check the slats for condition, verify that the fuel magnetic indicators are flush with the wing, and that there is no leak from the surge tank water drain valve. Make sure that the surge tank NACA intake is clear and inspect the fuel overpressure disc. From the wingtip, check the navigation and strobe lights for condition. Moving around the wingtip, take a look at the static discharges to check that none are broken or missing. Then check the winglet for condition. Along the wing trailing edge, inspect the ailerons, the flap track fairings, and the static dischargers. Verify the fuel jettison nozzle for condition and for leaks. Check the flaps for condition and position. When reaching the right main landing gear, check the doors for condition and make sure that the wheel chocks are removed. Verify the brakes and the brake wear indication. If the indicator is almost flush with the guide, the brakes must be replaced. Look at the wheels and tires for wear, cuts, and cracks. Check hydraulic lines and electrical wires for condition. Observe the main gear structure for general condition and make sure that the shock absorbers are inflated. Check the state of the downlock springs and make sure that the ground safety pin is removed. On the right-hand aft fuselage, check that the refuel control panel is closed. Check the APU shroud drain for condition and leaks. Verify the condition of the VHF antennas and the radio altimeter antennas. Check the water drain mast for condition. Make sure that the aft water drain panel is closed. Inspect successively the cargo loading control door, the cargo door hydraulic selector access, the latching handle and locking flapper, and the cargo door locking indicators. Verify that the bulk cargo door is closed, that the potable water service panel is closed, and that the toilet service panel is closed. Finally, check the APU battery outlet for leaks. Moving on to the tail, make sure that the galley and toilet ventilation outlet is clear. Verify that the THS access is closed. Observe the stabilizer and check the condition of the surge tank water drain valve, of the trim tank air inlet, and of the fuel overpressure disc. Check the condition of the trim tank water drain valves for leaks. Also, make sure that the static discharges are not damaged. From behind the aircraft, check the elevators for good condition. Verify that the APU cowls are closed and that the APU oil cooler outlet is clear. Make sure that the APU air intake is clear and that the fire extinguisher bottle access is closed. Check the state of the APU fire extinguisher discharge indicator. Verify the condition of the drain mast. Make sure that the APU exhaust is clear and the rear strobe light is in good condition. Finally, inspect the rudder and the static dischargers in case of damage. Whilst walking along the left side of the aft fuselage, check for correct position of the THS position indicator. Verify that the vacuum toilet outlets are clear. Check the aft outflow valve for condition. And make sure that the green hydraulic servicing panel is closed. On the center landing gear, check the wheels and tires for wear, cuts, and cracks. Make sure that the mechanically operated doors are closed. Check the hydraulic lines and electrical wires. Observe the center landing gear structure for general condition. Check the shock absorber pressure on the two gauges, the lower gauge and then the upper gauge. Make sure that the gear safety pin is removed. Proceeding now to the left main landing gear, the inspection is the same as for the right main gear. Verify that the wheel chocks are removed and check the condition of the main gear doors. Observe the wheels and tires for wear, cuts and cracks. Check the brakes and the position of the brake wear pin. Verify the shock absorbers, the hydraulic lines and electrical wires for condition. Observe the main gear structure for general condition and make sure that the gear safety pin is removed. Along the left wing trailing edge, check the condition and position of the flaps and make sure that the flap track fairings and static dischargers are not damaged. Take a look at the fuel jettison for condition and leaks. Verify the good condition of the ailerons and static dischargers. When moving around the wingtip, verify the state of the winglet and check that the navigation and strobe lights are in good condition. Make sure that the surge tank air inlet is clear and check the fuel overpressure disc. From wingtip to engine 1, check the condition and position of the slats. On the wing lower surface, make sure that the fuel magnetic indicators are flush with the wing and that there is no leak from the surge tank water drain valve. Inspect engine 1 in the same way as engines 3 and 4. On the wing leading edge, inspect the slats for condition and position and verify that the refuel coupling panel is closed. Moving below the wing, check that the fuel magnetic indicators are flush with the wing and that fuel does not leak from the outer tank water drain valve. Engine 2 is inspected in the same way as the 3 other engines. Close to the center wing, inspect slat 1 for condition and check the landing light for damage. Check that the fuel magnetic indicators are flush with the wing and make sure that there is no leak from the water drain valves. Walking below the center wing, make sure that the blue hydraulic servicing panel and the LH gear door handle access are closed. Verify that the hydraulic compartment ventilation and the left pack ram air outlet are clear. The center tank water drain valve access door must be closed. Moving forward, make sure that the emergency ram air inlet and the low-pressure ground connection access door are closed. Inspect the left pack ram air inlet and make sure it is clear. Finally, check that the high-pressure ground connection access door is closed. Moving forward along the left-hand fuselage, check that the forward outflow valve is open. Verify that the forward potable water drain panel is closed. Check that the standby, captain, and first officer static ports are clean. Finally, inspect the wing and engine scan lights for good condition. All the various stations and components have been checked and properly inspected. You have completed this detailed external visit.